We all know you've been missing Love Island since its finale aired a while back. Well, it seems like Netflix has picked up on the Love Island-shaped hole in your heart and is trying to fill it with a new dating show, Dated and Related. Before you jump in and start binging, we've got to warn you though. In this video, we'll tell you why Netflix's new show is a massive cringe fest for fans and critics alike. First up, Dated and Related aired last month, and it's just cringe. There, we said it. Binge watch? More like cringe watch. Netflix's new reality TV show has crossed all limits to be the most awkward dating show you'll ever see. And it's not because of the cast. It's not because of the really cliche island location either, nor is it because of the tacky dialogues. It's because the very foundation of the show is having your siblings on it. Before your minds jump to all sorts of conclusions that make you lose all faith in Netflix, relax. It's not what you're thinking. The related part, we mean. When Netflix first announced the show, our minds naturally went to the same place. Is one of the top streamers in the world now making a show about sibling incest? Or is this title only a way of attracting some attention, a mere marketing move? Well, it's a bit of both. It's not truly incestuous, but the show's challenges make us dubious of this statement. If we were to give you guys a short intro to the show, it mainly features contestants that arrive in a villa on an island in northern France, and these contestants have to come in pairs. Mind you, not couples, but siblings, and sometimes cousins too. These related pairs go on double dates with other pairs and act as each other's wingmen/women to compete for a joint prize of $100,000. Oh, and it gets worse. They even see their sibling or cousin make out with their dates. Honestly, we're getting secondhand embarrassment just talking about it. Now, there may be no sibling dating, but there's a bizarre level of family closeness here. Imagine your brother and sister saying they'd want a partner just like you. We might just throw up, because that's exactly what contestants on this show do. They may not say it out in the open, because who would, right? Except maybe if you're in Alabama. But these people reveal it in the kind of dates they show interest in, and it's really off-putting, to say the least. Making your sibling your wing person isn't entirely unheard of. Maybe we'd get a little comfortable with the idea once we saw it on screen, right? But how in the world will we be okay with it when every episode reveals this insane level of closeness that no sibling should ever share with each other? Honestly, if we want to see that, we just watch one of the many films about Anne Boleyn's relationship with her brother. And crazy sibling challenges only add to that. One challenge involves convincing another duo that you and your sibling need a bathtub for taking bubble baths together. If you complete that, you earn a double date. What in the dating show world is this show? This really concerning craziness aside, the show does provide a very fertile ground for exploration. One can watch it for purely entertainment purposes, perhaps. You know, just some crazy stuff to make you laugh and keep you engaged. After all, that's what dating shows are supposed to be, or at least that's what we thought before getting into this one. Coming up, the show quickly transitions from entertaining to dreadfully boring. We all know that Netflix only commits to the most ridiculous dating concepts. Too Hot to Handle is just one example from that list, and as cringe as that show may get, at least it's consistent with the entertainment. Safe to say, it always has us hooked for more. This show is the opposite. You'd think a concept like this would be interesting, to say the least. We thought as much, but we were left pretty disappointed when we saw just how quickly the show began to bore us. Too Hot to Handle has a great hands-off requirement that brings something new to the table. Similarly, Love is Blind has an interesting personality first, face later approach that really makes us want to be with the cast's journey. Dated and Related's got nothing as innovative. If we were to ignore the sibling part, which admittedly is hardly ignorable, this show might just be a knocked-off version of Love Island, down to the bathing costumes and the island villa location, not to mention the incredible space for diversity. It follows the same format too. Sibling pairs are dressed exclusively in swimwear and nothing else, and are encouraged, or more like forced, to get to know each other. And where does this activity take place? By the pool, of course. You've got our host stepping in to announce any group activities or challenges, but otherwise, it's just up to the contestants to make connections on their own. Well, not entirely on their own. Why get to know someone by yourself when you can have your sibling do that for you? Moving on, the show is just recycling tropes, including the cringe challenges. Remember that siblings incest in the hot tub challenge? That's just the tip of the iceberg for this dating show. Challenges aside, this show has all the ingredients necessary necessary to make a cringe dating show? Is everyone desperately trying to couple up just so they're not eliminated and get to keep the cash prize? Check. Fuckboys playing to their emotional side? Check. Two women liking the same man who has to make a difficult choice? Check. And the master of all dating show cliches. A newcomer going after an already coupled up man? Check, check, and check. We all know how this show will end from the get-go, but the show doesn't care that it's recycling tropes. It does even more so with its toothless cringe challenges, devoid of any real sparks or chemistry. If the hot tub challenge wasn't enough to convince you of that, don't worry, we've got more. The show is full of many incomplete challenges that are often abandoned halfway through. There was going to be a Villa Awards party, and guess how many awards we had? 2. That's all. They cut it off very suddenly with a surprise appearance by Melinda Berry at the Best Body Award. It's almost as if the producers know how boring this show is, so they decided to cut through. Now, poor casting choice only adds to the monotony. Netflix may try to hint at diversifying its content by getting siblings from all over the world to France, but these people bring nothing of their interesting cultures or family dynamics to their show. We are stuck with watching an extremely generic band of Instagram influencer type people blend together in their boringness. We're yawning just thinking about it. Apart from being incredibly bland, the contestants are also reluctant to listen to their hearts or run their emotions freely, which is weird considering they're literally on a dating show. When one man tells a potential love interest that she no longer has any potential for him, she just nods. On Love Island, we'd be treated to a dramatic confrontation and lots of spice, but this is just another letdown. It's realistic, sure, but it's not the stuff we signed up for when we put the show on. Let's take a look at what fans have to say. In a show as crazy as this, it was obvious that fans weren't gonna love it from the get-go, and the reviews certainly haven't been feeling any of that love that Dated and Related promises to show. People have all kinds of thoughts, and Twitter is just the place for that. Let's take a trip to this new hashtag and see what fans are saying. One user straight up said it, writing that the show is just a bit too incestuous for them. We feel you, because yes, it is. Another viewer said that the new reality TV show has been the most confusing thing they've ever seen, and considering they're watching this, chances are they've watched other dating shows too. This one tops them all in terms of confusing, and yet very non-chaotic storylines. Adding flame to the fire, another user pointed out the obvious, how the show's name is just wild to begin with. Now there were some people who enjoyed the craziness as well, and that's expected. Even the new Resident Evil show had some fans, so what if the total number amounted to 10? One user wrote that its cringe elements made it interesting to watch. They wrote that the show ends up being somehow brilliant. Fans also didn't fail to mention how, like every other dating show, this one also highlighted just how low the bar is for men. One of the girls fell for a man who reassured her that he was loyal just because she's never gotten any reassurance from a man before. The Twitter user wrote, "The bar is on the floor." We can hardly disagree. Finally, skip it or stream it. If you ask fans on a deadline poll on Twitter, the show is a waste of time, money, and space. And if this video wasn't enough to convince you of this, we honestly don't know what will. You may enjoy the show if you're into some boring dating with a hint of incest on the side. Otherwise, we suggest you skip it. If Netflix is looking to cut costs, canceling this show would be a great place to start. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Dated and Related? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.